but just a lot of bashed and bent bits.
Yeah, well, that was not surprising given the ugliness of the crash, as I say. There was a back marker there, as you said, Scott, while you were relaying that message, just tiptoeing through one of the flip-flop chicane sections. Certainly helped the Hondas up, but Glenn Richards did not feel like he should attack at that point in time.
The front runners, they've moved back around to 28.6s now, so they're winding up the pace again. So Vermeulen's obviously twigged that he doesn't need his teammates sneaking past him.
If you want to go Ron Haslimm's 14th he is last time around. Couple of points there, Ron.
Yeah, I think obviously in conditions like this, he doesn't need to prove anything. He's out there enjoying himself, having a lot of fun. Don't need to get push and try and fall off. Whereas these guys, they've got a job to do.
Right. An age difference as well. Oh, that was Vermeulen getting out the saddle. There goes his teammate. There goes the other Honda right through Glenn Richards. The second place qualifier takes the lead for the first time in this race. What happened there, Scott?
Yeah, that was the chicanes out onto the back straight, so you need a lot of drive through there. He ran a little bit wide on the way in, which is easy to do. You're braking while you're trying to lean the machine over. Tie right there to the chicanes. He ran a little bit wide onto the damp stuff. You saw him have a look like the front end started to go, the back end went, and Glenn Richards needed no second invitation.
Straight through. Vermeulen lost the momentum, gathering himself together again.
Richards, his body language says, right, this is my opportunity to get away. Look, head down, look, he looks like he's trying a lot harder than he has been for the last few laps.
Absolutely, because what he doesn't need is the 17-year-old having a good go at him on the last corner. But Vermeulen will not be beaten. He is up in the pace. He's going with his fellow Aussie, his teammate.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see the lap times on the next lap. I think they're only going to get their heads down and really try for it now. This is going to make or break the race for both of these riders.
Yeah, Richards, well, he was waiting for the opportunity, wasn't he? He probably hadn't got it planned to go this early, but when
out the seat again, so he's trying really hard. Maybe his tyre's going off. Maybe he chose a really soft rear tyre.
He's certainly
not that you're allowed to choose a really soft rear tyre.
No. It's a fairly stock tyres, Scott. What are you saying? You saw Vermeulen getting that thing really snaky there as they got on the power now. It's going to see. We'll have to check what Glenn Richards' advantage is. 0.4 of a second he was given last time round.
So that's about the biggest advantage we've seen so far in this race.
It's normally been 0.2 of a second, indeed, and these two Hondas have been the other way round. Not surprising, Scott. You said that'd happen.
Yeah, I think Richards just going to really try and win the race from this point. It's interesting to know Gary Mason, he's dropped off the back of Jeffries and Llewellyn. Jeffries and Llewellyn, we said a few laps ago, managed to get down into 29, so they're winding the wick up. Maybe their tyres weren't working so well in those half and half conditions.
The two Hondas still leading and the two Yamahas still second and third.
See, we've got Wolsey Coulter on the Aprilis. We've got another make up there in 7th position, so that's a good ride. Maybe the slightly treacherous conditions down the back have helped the Aprilia.
And Wolsey, a good wet weather rider anyway.
And in 8th position, Jamie Morley, who's on the box stock GSX-R 750 out of the garage, that engine. He blew his race engine up yesterday, and then they went to the shop, got another motor, and that's what he's racing with.
Astounding little story, that, isn't it? Absolutely astounding.
Well, it's interesting to note in the World Series at Hockenheim, Katja Punsken's GSX-R 750, the new 2000 model, was only 8 miles an hour slower than the year-old factory bike of Pier Francesco Chili. So the new GSX-R is just a fantastic piece of equipment.
Yep. And there we go. What is the gap? 0.410, don't forget, was the gap we were given last time round.
Very low 28s now, so they're pushing the lap times on, but he just pulled out another 0.3 that lap, so he's actually pulling away a little bit.
Up to 0.7 now, Scott, indeed.
So yeah, a whole 0.7 of a second.
And it's 3 times the gap we've been used to seeing. Back marker moves out the way, the leader Richards gets him just going over the start-finish line.
And bearing in mind David Jeffries in that further 18 seconds behind Christian Luden.
Just think Wolsey Coulter go through that lovely sounding Aprilia. It is too dry for him now, I feel, Scott. Well, the good news is it's going to give the Superbikes basically a dry track, isn't it? Yeah,
the Superbikes again have got lucky out of this deal. The skies look a little bit brighter, but it's been pretty temperamental weather conditions throughout most of the weekend. It's been spits of rain throughout, and pretty torrential downpour for 5 minutes just during the pit lane walkabout.
And this place isn't the quickest circuit I've ever seen in terms of drying. On Friday, it took all day to dry.
Yeah, well, it was very dull and overcast. We haven't got any sunshine to help dry the track. It's just the temperature put into the track from the bikes. But it doesn't dry consistently. We've seen the front of the circuit dry, the back of the circuit wet.
Yep, and just what you don't need. Number 24 is a back marker. That is Phil Gilder.
And he's not moving out of the way, so he's going to hold up Vermeulen throughout the rest of the complex.
He certainly is. He was caught in exactly the wrong place from Vermeulen's point of view, just right from Richard's point of view. This should be the start of the last lap, I think. Vermeulen finally gets round the back marker, and Richards has an advantage. It was 0.7 of a second last time. It's down to 0.6 of a second this time. Here we go, showdown time for the Hondas.
Still got to get past him though, and bearing in mind if he catches him, it'll be towards the end of the lap, and the end of the lap is where the damp bits are.
And where quite possibly a bunch of back markers might be as well. If he gets a couple of back markers here, that might not be good news. Do you want them first or second when you come to a bunch of back markers?
I think first you get to choose then.
And 1:28.0 for Vermeulen, chasing his teammate that time round. Fastest lap of the race so far on the penultimate lap. I have a feeling that record might go again, Scott.
Yeah, I think so. Jeffries and Llewellyn are both into the 28s as well, so they've got exactly the same thing going on in third and fourth, teammate versus teammate. So team manager's probably petrified on the pit wall as we speak.
Yeah, it's only the Kawasaki of Mason appears to have been repulsed. He's going to have fifth place all to himself. Now the question is, how close is Vermeulen?
I think that's about half a second. He's pulled in a little bit on the brakes into the very tight, the hairpin Abbey.
And as you saw then, from a wet section of track to a dry section of track very quickly there.
I think
look at the dry line.
Vermeulen will struggle to get past in this section. A couple of very tight left hand in the slowest part of the, second slowest part of the circuit now, into the sweeping right, which leads out onto the start-finish straight. Second gear they're here, and then they're going to start hooking gears as they come out of the start-finish straight.
Right.
Straight, come curve, come Woodcote.
Yeah, now Woodcote they're coming into now. He's not close enough. You can see it for yourselves. Richards, the opportunist pass, will be enough for the victory. First place for Glenn Richards, second place for Chris Vermeulen, and now we have a long wait. And are the Yamahas coming round in close formation? They are. As the
very close formation.
The two Honda boys celebrate. Glenn Richards, number 5, the winner. Vermeulen, here they are. And it's Jeffries who's going to hang on to third place where he's been for the entire race, with his teammate Matt Llewellyn, the championship leader, right behind him in fourth place. And Mason
crosses the line in fifth, so a very good result.
Ride.
First time out on the ZX9R, which seems to be a pretty good bike.
Good ride. The bike that Steve Plato was penciled in to ride, but he's saving his ammunition.
In his sixth place, Gus Scott, Wolsey Coulter on the Aprilia in seventh, Jamie Morley with box stocks and GSXR 750 in eighth, and Chapman in ninth. So Tinsley was currently in 10th. He crosses the line in 10th place. So a brave ride from him coming back after that start line crash.
That is a good way. That looks like Ron Haslam about to cross the line. A couple of points, Ron. He's up to where, Scott?
He's up to 12th place, so he just came across behind Duffus. I think Duffus was involved in that start-finish crash as well.
I think he was. So Ron got a couple of places on the last couple of laps, out there and fighting, as we'd expect. But the opening race of the afternoon was a fraught start. It was an ugly moment or two. We're glad to report that the riders involved in that start line pile-up are as well as can be expected. Nobody is badly hurt. There's certainly some battered and bruised riders over in the medical centre. And
a fair few battered and bruised bits of metal that they've dragged off the start-finish line.
Absolutely, some expensively bent motorcycles. But Glenn Richards started the day fourth in the championship.
And he hasn't done enough to catch up with his teammate in the championship points, but he's clawed away.
He's just clawing the gap back. And Matt Llewellyn, the championship leader, well, he got fourth place. So he's done a good damage limitation exercise. David Jeffries, second in the championship, third in the race. It's all going to telescope together quite nicely at the top of the points table, this.
Yeah, and bearing in mind we're only halfway through the season at the moment, so there's plenty more races. So cuts and bruises from the riders apparently, race control have just told us, so everybody pretty much okay after the start line crash.
Right, there's the results. Richards, Vermeulen and Jeffries will stand on the rostrum. 2 Hondas and 1 R1 Yamaha. Matt Llewellyn, championship leader, 4th. Gary Mason, very good ride to 5th. Gus Scott 6th. Wolsey Coulter on the big old V-twin Aprilia, way down on power but still 7th. Jamie Morley on that stocker, absolute stocker, 750 Suzuki, is 8th.
Get it out of the box, race it, and now you can put the lights back on and ride it home.
Well, that's what Superstock's all about, isn't it? Oh dear, well, as I said, the good news after that rather fraught worry about track conditions is that the next up are the Superbikes, and it's no question, Scott, it's going to be slick tyres all round.
Yeah, slick tyres all round. The track's drying quite quickly now, so I think it's going to make for good racing. We need the dry line to widen out to the whole track, and then we'll be able to see lots of passing.
And Claire is down there with the winner.
Glenn, congratulations out there. Seemed to be the battle of the fire blades. A very, very nasty start, but it was just you two, wasn't it?
Yeah, well, I saw 15 on my board at one stage there, and I thought, I've only got to worry about Chris, and I think Chris will be able to hold his own. But yeah, it was a good battle. It was a good battle. But I think Chris will be able to hold his own. But yeah, it was a good battle. It was a good battle. But I think Chris will be able to hold his own.
And
I didn't really want to go past him in the early stages because I was a bit unsure about the wet conditions and stuff, so I thought I'd just sit here and save me back tyre and have a go at the end, and it worked.
It certainly did. Well done, Jonathan. He's with the...
Thanks. I'm here with Christopher Millen, and obviously a very close race between the pair of you, but not easy either, not many lines.
No, it was really wet out there. It's basically a one-line circuit, and